Supervisor Thurston's unable to attend tonight due to a urgent phone conference.
Councilman Phillips. Here. And Councilman Alcott.
Here.
All right, all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. This is a special meeting of the Town Board this evening with a number of items to be addressed on the agenda. We do have a first business is to adopt the agenda, so we'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Casella, seconded by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now to acknowledge the minutes from October 23rd.
Move.
Motion-
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Phillips, seconded by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's approved. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open a public hearing on the preliminary budget.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Casella, seconded by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and the public hearing is open on the preliminary budget. If you have any comments, feel free to step forward. Name and address for the record, if possible. This is the required public hearing on the preliminary budget, which is still under, well, the preliminary budget's adopted, but we're still working actively on our budget for the final. Hearing none? Oh. Oh. Sorry about that.
Trying to get this done quickly. So I understand this is still a tentative budget, right? So things
Technically,
could
it's the
change.
preliminary budget.
I'm sorry?
So you've got a tentative budget, which is introduced by the supervisor, then there's a preliminary budget.
Oh, it's
and
the
then it becomes-
preliminary.
So this is technically the preliminary.
Yeah, so, and just point of order, we all know you, but just your name for the record and your street. You don't have to give an exact address.
We all know you. I'm the 6th member of the town board. Marcy Wagman, Old Troy Road.
Thank you, go ahead.
So my focus has been on the tax levy and the increase year to year. So right now, the preliminary tax levy increase year to year is noted as minus 7.93%. So I need to understand, because that obviously translates to people's
Sure.
tax bills. So I'm trying to understand whether, as part of the preliminary budget, that target will be held, or as a result of changes to the budget before it's adopted, that percentage change could change as there's changes to the budget.
Yeah,
It's
so,
hard to make a judgment.
right, yeah, so right now, it's a work in progress. So basically, the balance that exists is, the tax levy, which is the amount to be raised by taxes, right? We have fund balance that's applied within this preliminary budget that we have to discuss and deliberate the balance of how much fund balance to apply versus how much fund balance not to apply to find that balance that's reasonable.
So to answer your question, it's not final. Changes will be made. We have used quite a bit of fund balance, and we're going to take another look at that. So I would tell you it's probably going to change, and it won't be that 7.93%.
Minus,
It'll be something higher, though.
okay, because last year, the adopted budget was an increase of 7.8%, or excuse me, 7.9%, which rounded up to 8% year-to-year change when the tax levy cap in the state of New York is 2%.
Right, we were under the tax cap.
Yep.
So the tax cap is calculated using a number of different variables.
Right, but for those of us who are not in special districts, it effectively is an 8% tax levy increase.
I don't know that that's correct, but I will take a look.
Please look at your bill.
Oh, sure. I mean, I do look at my bill, and I see the lowest taxes in Dutchess County.
Okay, whatever. I'm just saying that the increase year to year is what you would need to be managing to. And then if you're seeing that kind of variance, you got to ask, why is there that kind of, increase of 7.8% in one year and minus 7.8% in another year, especially when all of the department heads came in and explained how prices are going up and
Mhm.
there's increases in salaries. So this kind of like, we just need to understand that a whole lot more and get in better balance and understand what's driving those kinds of changes.
Sure,
Because those are big
understood.
swings.
Just understand that your tax rate is significantly lower than the neighboring towns.
And I'm very proud of
Mhm.
that. Thank you.
And we hope to keep it that way.
Yes.
And so are we.
Any other comments, questions, issues, concerns for the public hearing?
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Bettina to close the public hearing, seconded by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it is approved. All right, so for the discussions this evening, we have discussion with respect to the camo pollution contract renewal. Mike Tremper is here. Would you like to speak at all to that, Mike?
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations.
Thank you.
We talked about it at my budget when we discussed the water and sewer budgets. The 5-year agreement that I have with the town expires at the end of this year. It would be Camo Pollution Control's intent to renew the existing agreement, same language. As a matter of fact, I reviewed the contract, I changed the dates, I sent it into the town as I was asked to do. The only changes I made were to the
Tall
taking
trees.
tall trees out and dates that were in there. Other than that, there were no changes. I feel like the agreement works good for Camo, and I feel like it works good for the town. Like I say, it's just I'm asking for just another 5-year extension, or the renewal of what we have. And everyone seemed receptive to it when I
So
spoke about it.
let me say this, you do an outstanding job for our town. You make us all look good, and I know you've been out a number of times, residents, you've met with me and residents, and everybody seems very, very happy and satisfied with the work, so I have no issue at all extending another 5 years. Jim, do we need to do a resolution for that?
We don't have to. I don't know if you'd like to, have a formal resolution with a contract that, the public would be available, as part of.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I think perhaps if there's enough time to have that on the November 13th meeting, do we have enough time for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would be,
Or reorg day, whatever.
yeah, I think,
Do it Monday.
I think it'd be better just to get that, that's a housekeeping thing as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Mike, I don't think you're going to find any objection from this board right
Nope.
now.
Absolutely
However, I think being that it is a multi-year contract, we should have that as part of a resolution. So November
So,
13th.
Mike, if you would just forward it to me, and then I'll draft the
Okay.
resolution for Monday night's
I
meeting.
can. And I don't mind, I'll come here whenever you want. You want me to come back on Monday night? Or
I don't know
I
if
don't
it's
think that's
necessary.
always-
I think if
yeah.
we had any questions tonight, we would ask. I don't have any questions.
I don't
No,
either.
I don't either.
He had given us the contract, and as we all know, Mike's,
Yeah.
there's no better contractor in this town than Mike.
I thank
and
you
we
for saying
appreciate it.
that, and the town makes it easy for me to do my work, and I look forward to continuing with that and the way it goes here, so that's good. We have a lot of challenges with water and sewer, and I'm happy to be part of them, so thank you.
And to put a smile on your face, that your Mike new Vector truck will be in December 1st.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next discussion item. The final budget discussion would be on the agenda this evening. I think since a number of the board members are still digging into this thing, I don't see, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see any definitive changes tonight into this budget. I do see us being in a position for November 13th to codify any changes, and I'd ask that Frederick be here on Monday night so that we can do that. But I know that a number of the board members have their own priorities within this budget, and we're kind of trying to craft it in a way that we can reach the number we want to reach that's fair and equitable, and also addresses any concerns that Ms. Wagman has, because we appreciate you expressing your opinion as the 6th board member. Thank you. So we certainly want to take a look at that closely, and we'll do that. Any comments, though, from the board this evening about the final budget?
Yeah, I think there are a number of changes that you suggested here that we need to make. A lot of it has to do with consistency across the board for salaries, things like that. That's one of the biggest pieces, but there are a number of large changes that we need to make, certainly things that affect the fund balances, et cetera. And I think right now in the budget today that we have too much fund balance being used. And again, we'll all go through that. We'll make our appropriate changes. I reviewed it. I think the other council people as well. We'll make sure that, you know, you're on the same page with us, you know, make your changes, et cetera, and have something available for Monday night the 13th.
And I think the goal, is it fair to say the goal by the end of the meeting on November 13th, we should be in a position to adopt?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, so that's our goal, to be there. And again, we will have an opportunity for the public to express concern or questions or opinions again on Monday as we work our way to the finish line on this budget. But again, our intent is to, again, remain under the 2% tax cap and at the same time provide the level of service that we have been able to maintain in this town. All right, so we have a few resolutions here that we need to address. One of them is going to be tabled, obviously, the final budget. But the resolution approving stipulation of settlement, Jim, can you expand upon that?
So I'd like to discuss this in executive session, and I think we should leave it tabled and perhaps address it at the next meeting as well.
Okay, so we'll entertain a motion to table
I'll make a
140.
motion to table it. When do you want to table to?
What's that?
Did you want 2 weeks instead of the 13th? You want to move it out?
We could do that too. I mean, whatever, you know, whatever.
Well, if we just table it tonight, if we're in a position to move it on Monday.
13th,
If
that's
not,
fine.
we'll just keep it on the table. So the motion was made by Councilman Casella to table 140. Was there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bettina. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, Resolution 149 is the adoption of the annual budget, which we just discussed. We haven't reached the finish line yet, so we'll entertain a motion to table that resolution.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Casella, seconded by Councilman Phillips to table that resolution. And again, we're going to table this, but our intent is to have a final product on November 13th. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Correspondence log.
Move it.
Motion made by Councilwoman Bettina,
Second.
second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's approved. And we do have an executive session, actually, we have 2 executive session items we'll go to, but before we do that, why don't we discuss any other items that town board members have for public discussion right now?
Well, I've two. Today, R.C. Ketchum held their Veterans Day celebration, and myself and Councilman Casella were there, and Judge Chase did his normal great job, along with Dr. Bonk. And we have correspondence from Judge Chase that the village is having their Memorial Day celebration on Saturday at 11, and we're having ours here at 1.
Very good. So Commander Chase continues his tradition. I think he's been doing it for about 98 years. 11 a.m. on the 11th day of the 11th month, which is certainly appropriate to recognize our veterans. And then our service is here, right? It's here, 1 o'clock? Okay. So if you can make one or make both, try to do that. Unfortunately, I have a daytime wedding on Saturday, so I'm not going to be able to attend it. But be sure to thank a veteran. Let's not forget the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Veterans Day is to recognize our veterans that we still have among us, right? Memorial Day is for those that made the ultimate sacrifice. So thank a veteran for their service, and I'm sure this board collectively thanks veterans on a regular basis. Anything else from the town board?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I want to thank the residents of the 4th Ward for coming out to vote. I appreciate their support. It was an outstanding night, and again, thank you everybody that came out and voted. We do appreciate it.
I want to thank all the residents for coming out to vote and electing who they wanted to represent their town. So thank you, and I think we all do a good job, and we're here for you. Don't forget that. We work for you. Thank you very much.
Councilman Phillips, do you want to thank your constituents in Ward 3?
We're just
The
doing
Ward 3 came out in droves, and I thanked them all.
It was a tough fight, I know.
It was a tough fight, yes.
Any public hearing notice, you want to ratify that?
Oh, yes, right, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's the public hearing for
The Sludge, tri-municipal sludge.
The tri-municipal sludge.
Sludge
There's got to be a better way to put that. Counselor,
Sludge digester.
let's
I
just
like
say
digester.
the
Just
digester.
digester.
There you go, digester.
So that public hearing needs to be noticed, is that correct?
So
or-
what happened was the Poughkeepsie Journal didn't provide an affidavit of publication, and I don't, bond counsel needs that for, to do the bond issuance. So bond counsel had said that we just have to renotice the public hearing, that the order that was adopted is sufficient. We just need the public to have an opportunity to comment again. And so that notice of public hearing was published in the Poughkeepsie Journal, and the public hearing is scheduled for November 13th, which is Monday, our next regular meeting.
So do we need to take any further action from the dais?
So the resolution that's presented there is just ratifying,
Oh.
the town clerk had submitted the notice of public hearing to the Journal for publication, and that's just a ratification of the public hearing notice that was published, and it's a formal resolution of the board setting the public hearing for November 13th at 7 PM.
All right, I entertain a motion to adopt the ratification of the public hearing.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Casella, seconded by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's done, and now it's my turn. So thank you to the residents of Ward 1 that came out. Greatly appreciate the support. I think it was a good showing all around on both sides of the aisle in our town. A lot of people exercised their right, which is important. We wouldn't be here without the support of the residents, and we appreciate being entrusted as custodians of the town. I'm going to put Jessica Fulton on the spot right now. Come on up and tell us what's going on Saturday here at Town Hall.
Saturday is the rescheduled time and date for our craft fair. It is 10 to 3, so it will be taking place here at Town Hall. The weather's looking good for Veterans Day, so we'll be outside for Veterans Day, inside for the craft fair. If that changes, Veterans Day will get moved into the big room. But right now, everything's looking great, and it's going to be a very busy day here. So
Good.
lots of
Okay.
reasons, good reasons to come to Town Hall on Saturday.
Very good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you.
for making
Thank you.
those arrangements. Appreciate
Thank you.
that. If there's nothing else from the town board, we'll entertain a motion to enter executive session for the purposes of contract discussion, is it?
Yeah, contract discussion and also litigation.
Okay, for litigation and contract discussion, we'll entertain a motion to enter executive session.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor? Aye. We will be back.